footballexclusives.co.uk. Follow us on Twitter.
Here at Football Exclusives, we offer journalists a chance to report on matches and experience being a journalist. What advice would you give to aspiring journalists?
Well, that's a big question, and it's a question I get asked a lot on Twitter, and it's difficult to kind of get back to people with the advice I'd like to give them, because for me, I made my way in football, in journalism, through making good contacts and making best use of those contacts. And it's not always that easy. It comes with hard work. You know, when I went to the BBC, my shift started at 6 AM and finished at 2 in the afternoon. I was shattered. I had to get up at 4 AM every day. But when it was 2 o'clock, I'd be off trying to find interviews. And I'd be writing for a newspaper called The Voice for free. And while I was doing those interviews, I'd get an interview. I had an interview with Michael Richards. I went to Nigeria with Rio Ferdinand. These are all through contacts that I made outside of what I was doing from, I say, 9 to 5. It wasn't a 9 to 5, it was a 6 to 2. And it's that makes the difference. Because when I went back into the BBC and I said, look, here's an interview I did with Michael Richards, look, I've been to Nigeria with Rio Ferdinand and done double-page spread, they were impressed because I got that kind of access that they want. And I was bringing something different to what they were offering their audiences. So what I would say is network, work hard, and also I'd say be creative. I mean, one of the things I try to do as a journalist is try to stick to the principles of what I believe is important. That's not always going to be what the editor tells you when he sends you out on a shoot. But when you come back from that shoot and you show the editor what you think is important as well, 9 times out of 10 they go, actually, I do really like that, and that goes into the piece, and that makes a real unique piece of journalism. Now, you have to be brave to do that, and you have to cover all the areas that your boss asks you to cover. But I believe if you have that kind of faith, and you have that kind of drive, and you have that creativity to be different, then you can really, you know, make some journalism that's make some TV, radio, whatever, written pieces that make a real impact.
Yeah. Obviously, you've worked with a number of Premiership footballers. We cover non-league. What would you say is, you know, the biggest difference between playing non-league and then going into league football?
In terms of journalism, in terms of covering?
Both, really, journalism and on the playing surface as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, the non-league doesn't get the kind of coverage it probably should do. I'm always amazed when I travel around the country at how interested people are in their local football teams that happen to be non-league. You know, a lot of fans will have a non-league team and then they'll have their professional team, and they will follow both as passionately. And I think it's going to click at some point for broadcasters out there. There's an opportunity here. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. In terms of my experience of the players from the professional level and the non-league level, I've got to say, the thing that they mainly have in common is when you get them to be themselves and real. Actually quite humble guys who are just really kind of grateful to be kicking a ball around and getting some money for it. Yeah. And that's why I kind of continue to work in this industry, because, you know, you meet some great people.